Okay, let's get into it. Welcome back to Western Mike. Good morning. Welcome to, even though it's 7 a.m., YouTube tonight. 2 topics today. Number 1, why most alcohol is just not logical. And also, second is going to be narcissists don't display interest. Okay, so we have 2 topics. We're going to get into those topics. And feel free to join the show. And here we go. So, news. There's an asteroid headed toward Earth. Doesn't mean that the asteroid will hit. Also in the past, NASA has been able to deflect asteroids. So while we have one incoming, don't be too alarmed just yet. Not all asteroids that are incoming are actually incoming, and we have some ways to deal with that now. Also, the Space Force appears to be developing a spacecraft carrier. You heard me. The Space Force is going to be constructing a spacecraft carrier, and that will be for the purpose of satellites. Also in other news, there was this big thing between the president and also Elon Musk. Not sure if it was over the Epstein files or something else. Also, recently there have been, of course, more SpaceX rocket launches. SpaceX rocket launches will result a lot of the time in the loss of the product, but that's part of it, and it's just it's in the stages. It's in the stages. So the space age is gearing up, but it's going to. This isn't going to be an overnight process. So alcohol is not inherently a good idea. And we'll tell you why. Most drinking is a bad idea. Most drinking, most ways of drinking, most ideas of drinking, they're all a pretty bad idea. So what what I'm trying to get you to see, okay, is that most of the time, you're drinking alcohol. It's inconvenient. It's not entertaining. It's pretty inconvenient. Last night was probably the least crazy night in a while. Part of drinking is that there will be binging. Binge drinking will inevitably occur as part of your as part of your training. Binge drinking is just part of it, and it's something that, even if you're a drinker, binge drinking is something that you have to overcome. It's something that you're going to have to give up. No, yeah, for me to keep on drinking, given, the increase in my obligations, and, my past, hard lessons, uh, if I want to continue drinking, I have to give up binge drinking. Drinking during the work week, to me, is not a good idea. I agree with Bill Maher. Drinking during the daytime, not a good idea. Had NA drinks during the daytime yesterday. Didn't even drink alcohol yesterday until 5 or 6 o'clock. And as a result of waiting with NA drinks until 5 or 6 o'clock, was able to keep it to a fairly moderate amount. Yeah, I had, at the bar, had a good time, had only 2 drinks, and then had a third drink, at home. So only had 3 drinks yesterday, probably only 2 today, only 2 tomorrow. Drinking on a Thursday. I like going out on a Thursday sometimes, but drinking on a Thursday is, that's just the worst. It's the worst. You're not quite done yet. You're not quite done yet. So drinking when it's, only almost the end of the week, it seems kind of a cop out. I don't really like that. Kind of like waiting until not only are my daily obligations, but kind of the weekly obligations, kind of like when those are all done. Yeah, because even after some nights when I've had only 2 drinks, it's difficult to get up in the morning. It's difficult to motivate yourself as much. No, that's just the alcohol talking. Actually was up earlier than usual today, so there wasn't too much interference last night. Was able to still get my dinner and to enjoy my house after getting back. Was enjoying the house after getting back. And that's just one of the benefits, many benefits of, resigning binge drinking so that you can continue to drink. To me personally, drinking a macro IPA at noon is the definition of binge drinking, especially during, you know, especially when it's still relatively early in the day, because the more you drink, the more impaired you're going to get. And the fact that it's not even 5 o'clock yet, it's just setting the ground stages for one gaffe after another. Just day drinking is the absolute worst. Drinking is fun, but day drinking, perhaps even during the weekend. Well, maybe not the weekend because that's not as big a deal, but day drinking during the week, that is definitely not something that I want to do. Drinking after work but before 5 o'clock is not something that I want to do. No, yeah, people discuss obligations. I have things to do. I want to, but I have things to do. And most, um, yeah, a lot of those times and even those days aren't really popular for that kind of activity. So you're kind of just wasting your time in that scenario. One time was going out at 3 o'clock, and every time we'd go out at 3 o'clock, would just be around kind of the worst crowds. Not always, but would be kind of around the worst crowds. These are kind of the crowds that aren't having necessarily a good time. These are the crowds that may be dealing with hair of the dog, or loneliness, things like that. So it's not really even having a day drink. You're not. It's a different animal, and of course you might start to even get depressed about you know having a drink at 3 o'clock and then having a drink at 4 o'clock and seeing everybody and their grandmother do something else. Walking around with a nice tea in their hand, or maybe not even with any juice at all. What is this obsession about juice? Just walking around, enjoying themselves. I see so many people do that, even after the 4 o'clock hour, even on a Friday, and that's impressive. Um, oh yeah, that just shows a level of uh, delayed gratification. So, what sucks about day drinking and maybe even just drinking on a Monday is just it means you're not, you know, delaying. You're not delaying. Apologies for lack of Facebook presence. Account expired and kept trying to reconnect it, and Restream was giving me hell about reconnecting my Facebook account. So appreciate your patience. Patience. No, yeah, week drinking sucks because people are not even really doing it. Those are the least popular days for alcohol, and also day drinking sucks because you see people do other things, and then you're not dealing with that kind of crowd that you're likely more to run into on a Friday or Saturday in the nighttime than you are when all the crazy people are out at 3 o'clock, and then you're getting drunk at 3 o'clock because you're probably drinking a bunch of macro stuff, and you're also probably just not yeah not too pleased with the crowd, not too pleased with uh, maybe some of the options that are appearing. So yeah, just guys, can't stress this further enough. This kind of activity requires careful time and consideration. Careful time and consideration. Uh, really, just doing what everybody else is doing is going to make it so much easier. Um, having day drinking and weekday drinking, that sucks. Let me just straight up say that is that just sucks. And nothing's worse than doing something at the wrong time. No, who wants to do something even if it's enjoyable at the wrong time? You do something that's enjoyable at the wrong time, and you're going to well, here's also another thing is that um, if you wait, you can drink a little bit more later. So yeah, every time have done, day drinking, it's either been not the best product, maybe still pretty good, but not the best product. And then also every time I've done it, have gone drunk instead of that, instead of just tipsy. So no, yeah, you don't get tipsy from. No, yeah, that's correct. You don't get tipsy from shit ass day drinking. You always get drunk and you don't know when to call it quits and to go home. That's tough to talk about. It is tough to discuss. Trying to improve your relationship with alcohol, especially post pandemic. No, yeah, this is tough to discuss. This is embarrassing. This is kind of a lack of preparation, given all the things that we have had to deal with recently. So, had to learn a lot of lessons about just indulgences and just what's really the better approach toward indulgences. To me, Friday, Saturday night, that's because that's the least amount of time spent doing it. Most of the fact of the matter is that most of the time you're going to be working. You're not going to be doing what narcissists are going around doing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going to be working, and you're going to be getting up early in the morning, working all day because you just worked all day. You have other obligations you have to do, so you might as well do those obligations. And then you might not want to do any of that stuff so close to bedtime when you have to get up early again the next day, even if it's toward the weekend. No, yeah, I'm not a fan of Thirsty Thursday anymore. Like the activity, like the people, but I'm not a fan of Thirsty Thursday. Thirsty Thursday, uh, definitely can say it from experience. Thirsty Thursday wreaks havoc on your routine, structure, perhaps even your work performance, and perhaps your relationships, given the fact that it's maybe more binge drinking than it comes off as well. And Thirsty Thursday, oftentimes it's Friday somewhere. So it's Friday somewhere. So might as well start the weekend decline now. Is there a way to moderate weekday drinking? Why would you want to? You're surrounding yourself with others who are either people you don't really know or people you don't really share values with, because you know for sure that going out on a Friday or Saturday night is starkly different from going out on a Thursday or especially a Tuesday at 3 o'clock. No, yeah, it's busy. Um, to me, even the week is not appropriate for consuming alcohol. Consuming alcohol during the work week is frowned upon. Consuming alcohol during the work week should be seen as inappropriate. This should only be kind of a weekend thing. Maybe if folk have other days off, maybe that's another reason why you'll see that there. But if you're having a job that you really enjoy, then you're not going to want to have to worry about whether you're going to stick to 2 or 3 drinks or not, or 1 or 2 or 3 drinks or not. No, yeah, we don't have to live in a society now where you have to indulge the second that you get out of the office. Don't really want that kind of approach. It seems we're living in a society where the second you get out of work, indulgence is right outside your door. Part of this is delaying gratification. It's good to go a while without things. especially you keep doing the same thing again and again. It gets tired. It's nice, but it gets rather exhausting. And then you know, maybe it's just that you eventually need a break anyway. You need a break anyway. So you're going to eventually need a break even from things that you enjoy. So might as well just do them at the times people do them, and not, you know, overdo things. Really hate overdoing things. Uh, might be a perceiving personality type, but I'm big on routine. And one part of my routine is that I can't stand overdoing things. My routines have to have some, variety in them. Uh, yeah, always doing the same thing. That just drives me crazy after a while. Having only 2 beers at the bar last night, and then bring only one back home afterward last night. That was cool. That was really cool. It's like not even on a Friday night, not getting drunk, and then still getting good night's sleep. What was the sleep by 10 o'clock? Didn't pass out at 10 o'clock. Didn't pass out at midnight or anything. Actually went to bed soundly at 10 o'clock, and had some pretty vivid dreams too. So it was a good night. It was a good night. Um, and plus, yeah, the folk who you run into when you go out at the appropriate times for drinking alcohol are vastly different, for the most part, from the folk who you will deal with when you inevitably deal with when you go out at 3 o'clock on a weekday. Who do you usually deal with at 3 o'clock on a weekday? Crazy fucks. What makes you think that's not going to apply to the go out party scene? And also, you can make it so that you don't have to party because you're drinking alcohol. You can drink alcohol, but not stay out late. You can go have a couple at the bar, but then you can leave before everybody shows up. You don't have to be there the whole night. Um, you don't have to stumble home. How about just come home? You don't have to try to juggle everything with NA drinks the rest of the night. How about just bring one more drink back with you? You don't have to end up in a ditch somewhere or cause too much trouble. How about just enjoy your night? And then it's like, after enjoying your night, then you know what else is there to do on a Friday? Yeah, so during the week, I'm already on an adventure. So it's not really as fun to turn off that adventure and start to do, a lot of passive things. It's nice to celebrate. It's nice to kick back for a little while. It's nice to give myself a break for a minute. Gee, yeah. I think you think this guy wants to go, all this time without a break. Your mistake. So my intention is to enjoy things, but not to enjoy them to the point where they get exhausting, and especially at the wrong time. Some stuff really like, but then even though I was enjoying good food from the restaurants the last couple of days, because had been going out and eating outside of my house, getting takeout for like days on end because had been doing that. Yeah, was starting to actually get some weird, taste textures. So what before was really mapley and everything, a lot of that stuff then would start to become, oh, well, now it's kind of too salty. Now it's starting to say maybe this is now too salty. So, and it might not be too salty. It's just that if you know, leave a comment in the comment section. Have you ever dealt with this? Just you start to indulge in stuff a little too much, and then it begins to decline in its value. This thing is a very real thing. Overindulging to the point of becoming a bit spoiled, and then starting to become a bit of a food critic. So, no, yeah, it happens with food. Will definitely happen with alcohol too. I mean, even really good food, you'll start to say, "Oh, this is too salty," even though it might not be. Uh, because you're pissed off about how much money you're spending lately. So, no, yeah, be careful about these indulgences, guys. Be careful. It can be very tough, weekend only and during the week. Maybe most people aren't even doing that stuff. It's a bit counterintuitive. Uh, it can be a little bit counterintuitive. It can. So, no, yeah, I'm going to indulge every now and then. Nothing wrong with that. But if it becomes a pattern, especially to the point where it's losing its value at your expense and my expense, well, then Houston, we have a problem. So, no problem with indulgences, but they need to be, more like the back burner than the front. It's counterintuitive, but that's kind of how life is. Life isn't indulgences front burner. And oh yeah, and my mom's would say, you're having a beer every day. So no, yeah, that's just boring. That's boring. Or she might say, you drank that beer so quickly. Uh, Yeah, indulgences are crazy if you let them. If you let them, they'll get you. So, like indulgences, but not to the point of um, being kind of a glutton and being kind of an unappreciative glutton. To see a bunch of people are just an unappreciative glutton. That it's like maybe that lack of gratitude is just always having been told yes and not really totally understanding the power of earning it, the power of just, you know, it can wait. It can wait. Indulgences are fun and all, but they can wait. Indulgences right now, even though it's a weekend, no, not yet. Maybe a little bit later on, but not right now. Might go get like an hors d'oeuvre and a couple drinks, and then that's it. And but that's it. That's it. I'm not going to do anything too silly. It's just, and indulgences aren't always going to be indulgences. So that's another thing is you shouldn't have to. One pro tip is you shouldn't have to go a long way out of your way for this shit. You don't have to unless it's really good. Unless it's really good, you don't have to go 10 miles for something. I see that people will go 10 miles and wait 10 hours, like for In-N-Out Burger, and that makes sense, but it can wait. It can wait, you know? Um, that's just you've indulged before, you will again, probably. You can mark my words, you can mark the calendar. So, how about even just indulging? Even that word is a little bit annoying. Gosh. How about just indulging, in a way that makes sense? In a way that makes sense. Kind of true. Things should be coming to you. You shouldn't necessarily be chasing things down. In life, things should be coming to you. Not like a prince or something like that, or princessy vibes. But in life, things should be coming to you. You should not be necessarily chasing things down. That I think is probably the best thing that I could say out of this. We're going to go and do an intermission and be right back. Perhaps, in fact, we'll be able to connect this to Facebook. Okay, so welcome to the second segment, and that is going to be why most narcissists don't show interest. Most narcissists have no interest. They don't show interest. If narcissists showed interest, they would do it in the way that most people are doing it. How do most people show interest? If you injure yourself, do most people show interest by saying even just that hurt, or he hit his head? He hit his head. He hit his head. Most people are probably not going to have a reaction or a response like that. Most people are probably going to be all, how about, are you okay? Most narcissists probably would have that reaction instead. That guy wasn't looking. Most narcissists will probably join conversations that weren't theirs and try to sound cool. Most narcissists will get kind of mouthy, even with people already dealing with other narcissists. There seems to be a thing narcissists do where when you're already dealing with a narcissist and then another narcissist is there and you're trying to avoid this one narcissist, another narcissist will come up and now you're dealing with that narcissist as well. So no, yeah. So yeah, the second you're dealing with one narcissist, 5 or 10 more will show up on your porch. So no, yeah. Narcissists don't show interest. Narcissists are not interested. And what are they not interested in? Your opinion. They're interested in their opinion. They're interested in having an opinion, even though already opinions weren't working. Narcissists are interested in their opinion being the only one. What's that? Kind of, some folk think that their mind is the only mind that exists, that no other people's mind exists. They think that everything's already only in their mind, right? And there aren't like other minds out there. They, no, yeah, they think that the world revolves around them. They think that only they exist, really, that there aren't other people out there. Um, Kind of like everybody looking at you weird in the movie Inception. You're the creator, aren't you? But no, yeah, that's not necessarily a place you want to be. I don't want to be seen as the creator. I don't. Maybe the narrator, but I don't want to be necessarily seen as the creator. That's too much attention. That's way too much attention, and that's just too much of a yes, supposedly, from others. No, yeah. Have no desire to be the center of attention. Have no desire to be the creator. Have no desire to be the protagonist. If it's going to be to my or other people's detriment. No, yeah. Awareness of narcissism stems from just, seeing it so many times. That's another thing, is the narcissist does not seem to value the fact that the more they do it, the more it's going to lose its value. The more it's going to not be an indulgence anymore, and now it's starting to become a bit of an annoyance. What used to be enjoyable is now annoying, even if it's pretty high quality. No, yeah, just talking a bunch of shit, and it's not even freaking 5 o'clock yet. As no, yeah, of course you're going to then start to get all these reactions you probably weren't expecting. Yeah, I deal with narcissists all the time. They don't understand boundaries. They They flaunt their status. They flaunt their status. They don't understand boundaries. They have a willful violation of the rights of others. They make no effort to consolidate their understanding. They have no effort to, they make no effort to consolidate their skills. No, yeah, if any, narcissists don't communicate interest, okay? Narcissists feign interest. Because it's in their interest. So, hey, it looks like we have a couple people tuning in. Sorry, anybody who have not showed up on your YouTube. Just YouTube is trying to undermine my channel. So maybe that's something worth sinking your teeth into. It's just YouTube is going around trying to undermine everybody's channels, even though they may not have even done anything. So no, yeah, we'll definitely. You know what? Gonna set a reminder for that. James's show, Progressive Discussions, is live on Saturday night. Usually think that's 8 o'clock his time. That's Eastern time. I think that's 5 o'clock Western time. So check out Progressive Discussions on YouTube every Saturday night. That'll be pretty fun. You know, I have to send myself a reminder. When I stop setting reminders, that's when things get pretty ugly. So, and then if I'm indulging in things, well, then I'm not reminding myself, my house is a mess, and just binge drinking. If I binge drink, guys, everything becomes a mess. Everything is a mess, especially the house for days after. Have to clean everything up. Might as well learn moderate social drinking instead. That's really the best way to go. Comments. We got a comment here. Miscellaneous Brew Reviews says cheers. Miscellaneous Brew Reviews is in the house. How are you doing, Drew? What's happening, D-man? How you doing? Yeah, narcissists are not about interest. They're about feigning interest. Feign. And the reason why you often see narcissists triangulating with other narcissists is because they're getting annoyed that that they are failing in the minds of others to seem interested. They're annoyed that their excessive level of curiosity is backfiring. It's backfire. Because everybody can tell a narcissist is just full of shit. They talk shit, and then they try to talk to you. You've seen this, and even when you're, with other company, for all you know, the same people talking shit about you are then trying to come up and say hi, and oh my gosh, just that is just the worst. Nothing's worse than being approached by a narcissist, especially on a busy Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. A nice person, even at Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's fine. That's fine. But they're not, hey, Phil, back to work. But it's because they're not being a dick. So even if somebody approaches me on Tuesday at 3 o'clock at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but if they're just a cool person, they're not being a dick. Narcissists are not about being interested. They're about self-interest. Self-interest. Who's paying attention to me? Who can I recruit to get those people to pay attention to me? How many bystanders can I take advantage of? How many triangulators? How do I need? How many triangulators do I need? How many triangulating motherfuckers do I need? Do I care about what this person's going through? No. Do I care about how I make them or their company, other company, more important company feel? Nah. Am I going to talk like other people talk? Am I going to do common activities the way other people are doing them? Because I'm not trying to cause trouble? No. That's not in my interest. And what's in my interest is even a negative response is a good response. That is in my interest. I don't really care if my reputation goes down in flames. I don't care if it's 5 in the morning and I seem like a total tweaker. Oh man. And these people have the nerve to tell me how to talk to other people when I'm trying to learn. Fuck off, friendo. I'm leaving. Maybe get those people a complimentary pony, then maybe they'll shut the fuck up. Pricks. Just idiots. No, yeah, and after a while, it's just you don't want to put up with it. I even have like an anti-negging rule. It's like, don't be negging me. No negging. Joking around is fine. Giving me a little bit of a hard time is fine. But once it crosses into like teasing, negging territory, where it's like kind of like that sexist shit, especially when it's from the people you least expect, then I'm like, okay, this isn't funny anymore. This isn't fun anymore. Can't stand, dealing with, folk who everything they do is like, not maybe every other sentence, but everything they do is teasing, manipulating. It's just this gaslighting shit. Heard somebody even yesterday in one situation. I'm like, come on, man, you're just getting a cup of tea. Like, don't make such a big deal. Don't make such a big deal. You're just getting a cup of tea so that you don't get drunk at 4, and it's only 4 o'clock. Day drinking sucks because you don't want to be drunk at 4 o'clock. And day drinking because it's it's a weekday. It's not the fucking weekend where it really belongs. Keep everything where it belongs in life. Keep everything where it belongs. Narcissists are not about keeping things where they belong because they're not about actually being interested. You think the narcissist is interested? Think again. The narcissist is all about self-interest. They're interested in their self-interest, their self-interests, their private self-interests, or maybe their public self-interest because it's constantly on display. Narcissists are always trying to triangulate everybody. Okay, that's why you will often deal with unsolicited advice and things like that from people, and then the second you try to do anything about it, some people might help, but other people, instead of coming to your defense, will be all, look at your reaction. That's another narcissist. So yeah, you'll deal with a narcissistic mob from time to time. Oh, you weren't interested in them. What about me? Oh, and what about me? Oh, and what about me? Come have a word. Excuse me. Why are you always? So, no, yeah, it's hilarious how they'll do that too. Try to reel you in, but it's just so obvious. Narcissists don't understand that they've done that stuff so many times that it's now saturated, and now it's kind of become the mainstay, if you will. Mainstay disaffectance. Narcissists don't care about whether you're interested or not. They don't care about whether you're interested. if they cared, would they still be there? Would they insist? No, yeah, just people with entitled Machiavellian tendencies. Maybe not Machiavellian, but Machiavellian entitled tendencies. Just they enjoy picking on you. They enjoy monopolizing your time. They enjoy the fact that it's Monday at 5 in the morning. I don't really enjoy that it's Monday at 5 in the morning. I'm not making too big a deal out of that. I'm like, I wish I was on a beach somewhere, sipping and checking out. Not that kind of checking out. At the check stand. Not that kind of checking out. No, yeah. Just I don't make a big deal about going to the city or it's Monday at 5 in the morning. To me, these are just times, just places. And if I talk to somebody, it's because I'm genuinely into them. It's not for publicity. It's not for. It's not to try to grow my. It's not to try to merely develop my fan base. My fan base can take care of itself. The fan base will take care of your fan base will take care of itself, Michael. Michael. It's not going, Michael. Everybody always says Michael like that, Michael. But no, yeah. My feeling though on dealing with people at 3 o'clock in the morning on a weekday is kind of goes a little bit like this. No, yeah. If you don't want to do weekend stuff during the weekday, you don't have to talk like it's the weekend on the weekday. There's probably some Peter Pan syndrome in that. Everybody always having to talk like it's the weekend. It's kind of like the weekend if you're not having a drink on a Monday afternoon instead of a Saturday afternoon. And that's not the weekend. Now you're having to claw your way back, and now there's also dealing with any potential negative effects, and when you're having to be ready for work. Narcissism is the worst time for the work week because everybody's busy. Nobody cares that you have the same shirt on. Nobody. Why would anybody want to have a conversation about that every 5 minutes? Nobody with somebody new every 5 seconds. It's just nobody cares. Yeah, just seeing way too many people just get overly excited about other people, and I'm just like, guys, no, yeah, being too excited. Narcissists they seem to often act way too excited about others. So you're around narcissists and you do one thing and they have shiny object syndrome. So they act way too excited about one pretty normal thing you're doing, or they get too excited and butthurt about something you're doing that a lot of people do. It's just that it's cool, right? Narcissists aren't interested in you. They're interested in your reaction. They're interested in your reaction. Can this person get upset with me for taking it out on them because they have something that I want? How about how do I kind of be like this person so that I can get what they have? How about that? I'm always asking that. I like these folk. How can I be like them? How can I put value out like them? And how can I level up to them? How can I relate to them? And do things more like what they're doing, less what everybody over here be doing. And then yeah, everybody wants some chains like CJ. Um, it's just, do you go out and beg for it or demand it, or do you be patient and kind of let things come to you? So my friends are always saying that, let things come to you. Let things come to you. And would even say that about just doing things correctly. It seems that overindulging kind of leads to narcissism in many ways. Overindulging can lead to narcissistic disorder. Um, Being told yes too many times to the point of things losing their value, and then becoming kind of ungrateful, and then you become. I don't want to be a difficult person to please. I'm a pretty easy person to please. That's one of my factors. I'm pretty easy to please. No, yeah, when it comes to pleasing others, um, no, yeah, I'm pretty up there. I'm pretty up there. You don't have to do much. You don't have to do much. Um, just make sense. Just please make sense. So no, yeah, I'm pretty easy to please. I don't ask for much. I just want to have a good time without anything getting too cray cray, and I don't want it to become a distraction. No, yeah, I don't want indulgences to become distracting. I also don't want overly indulgent conversations. I don't want conversations to be an indulgence. I just want to have a nice chit chat with somebody. I don't want to monopolize um, or gossip, or I don't want to gossip. I don't want to gossip about anyone. Um, this week even was trying to be a little bit less judgy. Was trying to be a little bit less judgy this week because especially living in kind of a woke environment, it kind of pays to maybe not be so judgy all the time. Like if you're dealing with something that's kind of, oh man, this again. Oh, I can't stand when this is going on. Well, dealing with that's one thing, but if there was no harm done, then you can't really react. You can't really get upset. Um, no, yeah, that's why when rich people, not rich people, but rich people, don't mean all rich people, it just means certain rich people. That's why when rich people kind of do what they do, they're kind of, oh, why isn't this person who looks like they're going to a job interview giving me attention? Well, if you're wondering about what they're doing, doesn't that mean they're probably doing something? If you can see that somebody's doing something, well, then doesn't that mean they're in the middle of something, aren't they? Yes. So, no, yeah, narcissists monopolize conversations. Narcissists monopolize their own time. Narcissists monopolize themselves. And they just don't know how to compartmentalize um, and differentiate between more important, less important. Some things are allowed to be less important in life. Some things are allowed to be less important. Not everything has to be important. Not everyone has to be important. Do I have to be important? In some cases, yes. But generally, forget it. Forget it. Now, do I want some recognition? Of course, sure. Why not? Who doesn't want some recognition, support, support? I like saying it like support, aerial support, team support. Uh, but I don't. like constantly needing, wanting. That's the next project. I don't constantly like needing or want. No constantly needing or want. Well, maybe some needing in a way, but yeah, I need some reassurance. I need some validation, of course. Who doesn't need at least some reassurance and validation? But when I should be sleeping, I'll be sleeping. You're not going to hear a peep. That means hopefully I'll shut the fuck up. But no, yeah, I don't have to always be important. I don't always want things. No, yeah, I don't always want things. Do I always want things? No. Do I always want alcohol? No. That because that'd be silly. Um, do I always want fast food? No. No, yeah. Sometimes even fast food come to my house. I'm like, oh, thanks, chucking it. Maybe not on purpose, but maybe on purpose. No, yeah. Sometimes I've said no to, attention. Sometimes I've said no to fast food. And it's not so much a dismissal. It's just, things are going a little fast, and it's probably a good idea when to pump the brakes sometimes. And no, yeah, you get too much attention, too many yeses. That just everything becomes actually more dull, and you're more depressed than you were previously. And if you were already depressed, well, then hang in there, because that especially is a tough situation to be in. So yeah, you don't always have to be important. Do you always have to feel full? No, you don't have to. I'm not eating right now. I had a burger last night. I could be eating right now, but I'm gonna wait. So I don't always have to be full. I don't always need attention. And I don't always have to have a drink on my person. Sometimes I can go without any kind of beverage at all, and that's pretty good. So this has been the show, pretty much. Thanks, guys, for tuning in on the show. Thanks for joining. Anybody has any questions, comments while we're closing out here, just let me know. No, yeah, if you have a drink during the week, I would just wait until not after work, but even just after the day in general. No, yeah, don't drink during the work day. That's would definitely not advocate that, no matter which position you are in. Don't drink during your commute. That is because you could just commute, and the commute is worse for it, because it'll make you kind of feel bad anyway. And you want to avoid all that stuff. And who wants to party on a weeknight? So no, yeah, I'm gonna wait for stuff. I'm not always full. I'm not always wanting stuff. So thanks. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. See you in the next video. And you guys have a good rest of the weekend. We'll try to get more of these out. We'll try to join more shows. And despite YouTube's undermining, and hopefully maybe they even bring back content that they deleted from people's channels, or channels entirely. Maybe they can actually do that, or just let it stand. So for educational purposes only. Thanks, and see you guys soon, and have a good one. Thanks, and enjoy the day. Thanks, everybody, for coming out last night, too, and everybody having such a good time. Thanks, and enjoy the day. and don't get drunk until 11 o'clock tonight.